Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. I want to welcome everyone in the MindBody community who's joining me live. And hello to everyone who is in Instagram, because we're broadcasting in Instagram there as well. So let's just wait for, are we working? Can you guys hear me okay? Make sure this is working. Hi. I want to say hi to everybody who's listening to the recording or the podcast, because I know most people are listening that way. I'm going to share today about the 3 keys to true health and wealth. We have a lot of ideas about health and wealth, and our mind can take us on a wild goose chase, a hamster wheel, constantly being on this track to chase after it. Like, these are the 2 main things people focus most of their energy on: health, wealth, having love and connection. But like, we're trying to get that health and wealth so that we can feel more of a loving connection. And that's what it's really all about. And what is true health and true wealth that is really actually innately within us, versus all of the stuff that we're spending so much energy and time chasing, and which is such a depleting conquest. We're going to clarify a lot of this today. So hello everyone who's here live. Oh, MK from Norway, that's so exciting. Hi Alicia, Nicole, Randy, and everybody who's coming in the Instagram, which is super exciting. I don't always know who people are on Instagram because of how the handle is. Like, sometimes it's a, like, I love dogs, and I'm like, I don't know who it is. So I want to connect more in Instagram and find a way to feel people that way. And we're playing around with broadcasting our weekly MindBody TV in here. So this is really fun for me. Okay, so there are 3 main keys, and this is kind of universal across all major spiritual traditions. They're not going to necessarily say it the same way I'm saying it, but that when you distill these truths down, they're really kind of the same thing. And this is something we can all do right now from where we are. And it is the only thing that will really matter in your life, in your physical material world, in your body, in your relationships, in your money, in all of your experience. And so if you have felt, especially with health, being a doctor, I see a lot of people on a big health conquest. And just like people go on a money conquest or success conquest, it's depleting. And it's like the never-ending universe of more ways to alter my diet, more ways to take the right supplements, more ways I've got to go to the right practitioners, more ways I've got to learn about what to do and what to not do and manage all of that. And it becomes very, very restricting. And that is not the frequency of health, true health, or wealth. We are first and foremost vibrational. We look physical, we feel physical, we think that we are primarily physical, but we are not primarily physical. We are primarily vibrational. That means we are made of pure energy. And if that sounds a little out there, hang in here, because there's a lot of science that explains and lays out what the foundation of our true physical reality really is, and how this applies to your experience in the body, to your experience with your health and wealth. So let's dive right in as we go. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a physician. I've been board certified in emergency medicine, but over the last 7 years now, I've been solely focusing on mind-body medicine, self-healing, the body's ability to heal itself, because there is so much more power in that than anything we've ever found in our current medical technology. Not that it's not an awesome system, or not the system, but like the medications we use, surgeries we do. It's beautiful in so many ways, but it is not actually something that can create true health, wellness, the vitality that courses through our veins and courses through our body and lights us up and lets us be fully animated and alive. And if you're looking for that, this is what we're going to be tapping into today. So true health isn't just about, I look younger, I feel younger, I have more energy, or yeah, I can get through the whole day without needing a nap, or oh, I lost 20 pounds. Like, true health is actually about feeling that inner deep sense of the essence of who we are, being lit up, being in passion, being on purpose, being filled with vitality, which is all about fulfillment fulfillment and living your heart's truest desire. This is what lights up your body. When you tap your passion and what makes you fully alive and what makes you fully you, it actually has a direct physical effect on every cell in your body. Oh, I love all the hearts coming up. This is so fun. And this is one of the most powerful things that we've seen in medical science, but I think of it as like the best kept secret in medicine, because why are we not just tapping into that first, second, and third, and then going to surgery, and then going to medication, and then going to all these other things that might support it? That is really what my entire practice is about. So for those of you who don't know me, that's a little bit about who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. The first of these 3 keys, and now remember, we are primarily vibrational. If you remember that, this will all make lots of sense and you'll be able to play with it a lot more easily. So, residing in unity consciousness. We are not separate. You're not separate from, your arm's not separate from your foot. Your nose is not separate from your butt. Your body is one whole unit. But the separation I'm talking about is that we are not separate from anything. You are not separate from anyone outside you. You are not separate from anything that you see in your reality. What? But I'm over here and they're over there. When we look deeper underneath the physical structure that makes us a physical body, everything is pure energy. It's a really fascinating phenomenon that everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. So yes, I will hold up my phone here. My phone is vibrating at a different frequency than my hand. And they look different and they feel different. And so this has a lot to do with how things show up in our reality, is vibration. Now, when you are vibrating in a more fluid state of harmony, of ease, of I love and accept myself fully, of it's okay to be feeling exactly what I'm feeling or experiencing exactly what I'm experiencing, it raises your frequency. It actually raises it very significantly. It raises it enough that your cellular state becomes more harmonic. There's more health in your cells. Inflammation reverses. Disease, cancer, DNA changes, all will come more in alignment with the expression of physical health, just shifting your frequency. And it doesn't take a lot. Like, you don't want to, I used to say, if someone has a diseased liver, you don't need to turn the liver into a cat. You turn the disease cells into harmonious, healthy liver cells. That is the shift. It's a subtle shift, but it's a quantum shift. And when we increase our frequency, even just a slight amount, it allows that powerful of a quantum shift for us. When we are in unity consciousness, and all that is the realization of, well, I'm not really separate from everything. We release fear. We remember it's actually okay. Whatever I'm experiencing right now, body, it's okay. And that's really where that 2% shift lies. That increases your frequency just enough that disease can no longer live in your body to the same extent. Okay, great. I'm glad we came in. We have a better view now. Sorry about that. So how do we, and then the opposite is true. When we're in fear, like, oh my God, I'm so sure it's not okay. Oh my God, I'm so sure I have this symptom in my body and it must be cancer. Or we have a diagnosis of cancer and we think what have I done wrong? Or, oh my gosh, my life is over. And we go into that fear, doom, and gloom that lowers our frequency. But the point I wanted to make here is that so much of what many people are trying to do to expand in health or wealth, which they're the same thing, are things that are decreasing your frequency. Working hours and hours and hours on end trying to make a better life or make more money, sacrificing yourself for something you don't really love, trying to eat this diet that's really rigid and restrictive, and it's not serving you to kind of try to eat like that or force yourself to be so restrictive. Constantly looking for the next thing and the next supplement and the next guru and the next whatever that's going to help you not feel the pain you're in. So major keys for me are anything that allows you to come into a higher frequency, and unity consciousness is just one way of describing when we're in that space of total knowing and harmony. Like, it really is okay. I am an infinite being having a physical experience, and it's okay for me to experience what I'm experiencing right now, whether it's oh my gosh, this terrible thing that's happened to someone else I love. Or it's, oh my God, there's so much anxiety in my body, I can't stand it, I gotta do something. Or it's, there's physical pain. I have a friend who told me the other day, wow, I've had all these medical problems, and can Mario take a look at my studies because they want to take my uterus out. And I was like, they want to take your uterus out? Yeah, they think I might have endometriosis. Okay, well, I start asking her questions. What's going on? Are you bleeding? How much bleeding you're having? How much pelvic pain and cramping? She's having no bleeding, no pelvic pain and cramping, and she's postmenopausal. She's not even having her periods anymore. I was like, why on earth did they think she's got endometriosis? So I'm like, back up. When did this all start? What happened? She started having this crampy abdominal pain and went from one side to the other. It's been over the last 6 to 8 weeks. Well, her son is getting married this weekend. So the 2 months before her son is getting married, and there's all this drama happening around with different people involved, and she's having this crampy abdominal pain. So I tune into her system. It's 100% around all these family dynamics and what's going on, and anticipating that the wedding's at her house. So she's kind of like taking all of this on, and her body's reflecting that. But when I tuned into her experience of like, why on earth did she go to a doctor? Well, she's living in this, we're here in Durango, but she's also living somewhere else. That's where her medical care is. There was so much fear of what she was sensing in her body. She's like, let me go make sure I get this taken care of before I come to Durango for this wedding, and then I don't have what I need. So all this fear was driving, running to the doctor, getting an ultrasound, getting a CAT scan, figuring this out, figuring that out. Now she's at the surgeon. They want to take out her uterus. I'm like, what? Let's back up and what's actually happening. So I obviously, people who already know me, I'm very, very intuitive. I can tune into people's systems and know exactly what's going on in their body. And for her, it was really easy to do that very quickly. There was no organic issue that needed to be addressed. I told her some things to do with food that, like laying off some dairy and gluten this week would give her bowel some rest, but that really the stress was the biggest factor that was impacting her, and to just let everyone go, let go and start asking for what she needed, which she actually did. And it was amazing. Some big changes. But the point is, when I tuned into her experience of what's happening in her body, it was all fear. Oh my gosh, what am I feeling? Most of us live from here up. We're from like the neck up. Nope, everything's perfect. I don't feel anything. Nothing's going on here. And we don't actually feel what's happening here. Like our sensuality has been turned off. And so when she's tuning into like what is happening in her body, it's, I feel this, I feel that, oh my God, it's not okay. I feel fear. So immediately going into a fear response when she has sensation in her body. And that is a very repressive energy. So it's obviously going to create more cramping and more problems, and maybe diarrhea, and then inflammation. And then next thing you know, you get irritable bowel syndrome or inflammatory bowel syndrome, where there are microscopic changes in the lining, and you get diagnosed with Crohn's. And you see where I'm going. Most of the things that most people are doing to improve their health and expand in wealth and abundance are actually decreasing their frequency. And this is the surest way to make sure you are not going to manifest physical health and abundance in your life. So I want to talk briefly about what is true health and true wealth, and how they are one in the same. Anything you can think of, if you think, oh, I wish I had more money, or what you are working for, feel into like, why? Why do you want that? What is it you want that you think money is going to bring? Yeah, and I see all the questions coming through, so I'll make sure to address these. Feel into it. Anything that there is that you're wanting, oh, if I only had more money or more wealth and abundance, then blah, 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 blah. So what is that thing you're really after? If you feel into that, it's always going to be some level of wanting to feel at ease, wanting to feel free, wanting to feel at peace, wanting to feel loved and nurtured, wanting to be taken care of, having your needs met, and to feel good in some specific way. And that's really what health is. It's not the absence of disease, like there's no cancer cell in your body or nothing inflamed. It's feeling at ease with what is, feeling at peace. It's okay. I have what I need. A feeling of well-being. And that is what I'm talking about here in this MindBody TV episode about the keys to true health and true wealth, is that inner sense of total serenity, plenitude, expansion, the true expression of who you are, being free to be who you are and live what you really care about. That's health and wealth. And so being in unity consciousness, or coming into a higher frequency of realization, oh, none of it is separate from me, is a beautiful way to increase your frequency. And it might not look like that. It might just look like, I feel like hell right now, but I'm willing to feel what I feel. It's okay. It's okay to feel this. And that's that 2% increase in frequency. But that's all that's needed to have a real shift in your physical experience. Okay, the second key that I wanted to talk about, 3 keys to health and wealth. So first, that's really about moving beyond fear and separation. The idea that there's anything outside me that I need, that I don't have. And if I did have it, then I'd be okay, but it's conditional. All of that is fear consciousness. So unity consciousness is this deep knowing that I'm an infinite being having a physical experience, and that all really is well, and I can receive. Okay, the second piece is our inner connection. Our inner connection with the divine, our inner connection with the essence of who we really are, our inner connection with the source of life, what created your body and creates your body over and over again in every second. Like, you're creating new red blood cells right now. You're creating new skin cells right now. Are you creating them in a frequency of fear or in a frequency of lack? Your inner connection allows you to remember that everything out there is a reflection of what's going on within me. If there's chaos, if there's too much to do, if there's never enough time, if there's never enough money, if there's everybody giving me a hard time, everybody taking a piece of me, wait a minute, where is there an inner betrayal or lack of generosity with myself? I had an experience last week where I was driving home from Santa Fe. So Santa Fe to Durango, you're in the middle of no man's land, a lot of it. There's not a bunch of gas stations or restaurants or places to stop. And I realized I had not filled up my gas tank. I didn't just realize I had not filled up my gas tank. I realized that my tank was empty. And I was like in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, oh. So you have that little buffer time. Like, all right, that buffer time, it's going to be okay. I'm going to get there. And the next sign I saw miles later was 30 miles to Pagosa Springs, 30 miles to the next little town. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can make it 30 miles. So I'm frantically trying to find the button that tells me how many miles I have left. I can't find it. I'm like, Kim, it's okay. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm aware of how awful I felt. I couldn't enjoy my ride. I couldn't listen to my little podcast anymore. I was like, oh. I'm thinking, who can I call? But there's no reception anyway. And it didn't matter because how could someone really help me? And I kept telling myself, you know what? However this goes, it's going to be okay. But the biggest point of generosity was I felt like such an idiot that I didn't fill my tank before leaving. Like, what the heck were you thinking? Are you a child? Why didn't you fill your tank? Why didn't you do this? And it was like a split second of that. And I was like, nope. I'm not going there. I refuse to make myself wrong. I love and accept myself unconditionally, and it's okay that this happened. Now, some people think that's a mistake. They think, but if you don't make yourself wrong, then next time you're going to do the same thing. And that's the big lie. The truth is, the more generous you are with yourself, the less likely you are to ever do something self-sabotaging again, to ever be in a state where you don't love and nurture yourself and have that in the forefront of your mind, because it raises your frequency. So I was unwilling to make myself wrong. Kim, it's okay, this happened. And I said to myself, you know what? Whatever happens, it's not worth feeling like this, anxious and scared and worried and oh no, and so attached to that not happening. And it's like, well, you know what? Nothing really bad is going to happen anyway. I'm not going to make it in time for my daughter's bike thing. We can let that go. It's not worth feeling what you're feeling. Because when you're in that state, that's when disease is being created, a state of contraction, a state of fear. Jessica says, generous is such a great word. Thank you. Isabel, it's very hard to vibrate all the time in positive emotions. Yeah, that's why you don't need to let go of being positive. So that's kind of coming back to the first space of unity consciousness. Allow yourself to be in a higher frequency. The thing that creates a higher frequency is being willing to be in the space exactly where you are. Not trying to be positive, not making it better, just I accept exactly where I am. I am scared, I'm pissed, I'm worried, I'm pretty bummed, I'm pretty attached to, I wanted to get home and I almost was gonna make it on time and now I'm not. It was like, all right, you know what? It's okay. And then you're not holding on to that. You're not creating the inflammation in your body anymore. You're at peace with what is, even if what is kind of seems like it sucks. It will raise your frequency immediately and you'll feel it. Okay, so tuning into that inner connection. What is it that's truly important? Where's my inner connection? Who am I really? And what really matters? Does it matter that I get home in time? Does it matter that I don't spend an hour waiting on the road for somebody to help me out? Which I know I'm not going to end up overnighting in the middle of the road and die in the middle of the night. Like, go to your worst case scenario and then just neutralize that. It's okay. It's not worth feeling the massive demo I'm doing on myself right now to try to avoid that. Maybe it's unavoidable. And at that point, hey, it wasn't. I actually got to Pagosa, which was like a gift from God. And I made a video on Instagram immediately. Okay, so going into that space, as within, so without. If you want to, you have this lack in your life or health problems or not enough time or chaos, go into that inner connection. As within, so without. If I want to decrease inflammation, and yes, cancer, and yes, every genetic anything known to man, every disease process we've seen organically will be affected by this. That's the power you have in your inner connection. Okay. The third thing is our willingness to follow our heart. Thank you for the hearts. I love them. What is it that's my true desire? Because sometimes, and who was it? Okay, my friend this morning was talking about something she's creating in her business. And we have this practitioner collaborative that's all about consciousness and how raising your consciousness is the thing that allows abundance in your business, that allows your clients to receive more. And she was really stuck on, well, I've been doing this and this and that because I really want it to be about naturopathic doctors. And I was like, well, why? Why is that so important to you? And she immediately was like, I don't know. Because what's really important to her is assisting people in healing. Does it have to be being on the soapbox of naturopaths are people too? Not necessarily. And she realized that's just an attachment of what I thought it needed to be about. But her true heart's desire is to really share her gift with other people. And she can do that without hanging on to that attachment. And it freed up a lot of energy. You could feel it right in the moment. Are you willing to go deeper and actually follow the calling of your heart as opposed to what the mind thinks you need to do to get there? Because the mind can keep you on a wild goose chase of the never-ending journey of more. Your heart, not your ego, knows what actually will create more, what actually will create the expansion of true health and true wealth that you're looking for. Okay, I'm going to look at questions. And I do have also a live webinar tomorrow with more of this specifically for practitioners. If you are here to assist others in their awakening, in their health and expansion, a lot of times we get depleted when we're not really aligned within ourselves. And so there are some really great points in that webinar tomorrow, and I'll make sure to share the link with you. But let me look at these comments that are coming through. So Melissa says, I love this too. I've been giving more grace when I'm not feeling the best and allowing it versus being forceful. Randy, I love this. I feel like I've been more present and allowing what I'm feeling like never before. When I'm suddenly after, all of a sudden after 20 years of remission, psoriasis has come back on my skin. Yeah, that's okay. Your skin is like the most superficial way that your body detoxifies. So if it's releasing from your mental, emotional body, it may pass through and excrete through your skin on its way out. Do not feel like you need to put steroids on that skin and suppress it and push it back in. Do not feel like you need to make this thing go away. Nurture your body and let it express and release what it's expressing. And there may be some dietary things that support that in the temporary stage, maybe dairy, who knows. Tune in and feel, but support your body through this healing process. Don't make the symptom be a wrongness. Do not make the symptom be something you need to suppress. Let the symptom be a sign your body needs support through the healing process. Can this just be something moving through and not an indication that the autoimmune issues are worse? You already know the answer to that. And I've shared in the past, I think 2 weeks ago in MindBody TV about the truth versus lie. No, it was last week. What was the title of that one? Where you tune into like, is this true? Because your body will never lie. I think I feel peace around my job situation. Yay! Because there's so much transitioning for you. And yet I haven't propelled to take any action. That's okay. If you're not inspired to take action, then stillness is where you need to be right now. How can we tell the difference between apathy or oh, sweetheart. How can we tell the difference between apathy and resistance versus peace? It's a great question, but if we actually feel into the frequency of apathy, which is a very, very, very low vibrational state, apathy is not contentment, no big deal. Apathy is like, I'm over it. I don't even care. Doesn't even matter. Just checked out. And peace is very high vibration. They're very, very distinct. So feel your body. Get in your body. When you connect in your body, you can't not have more awareness. So let yourself know what you know. Like, hey, I'm at ease. I'm at peace. This is good. Now feel how it is when you question it. Wait, maybe I'm just being apathetic and that's my resistance trying to keep me stuck. That's a spin out. That is not your truth. That's a doubt. Doubt will always feel lower than freedom. Ooh, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, I just came out of my screen with the, hold on. I don't know how to get back in there. Hold on a second. Nicole says, I refuse to make myself wrong. I love that. Melissa, I love this. Okay, here we go. I've got the comments. All right, Nicole says, I'm really after, yeah, you're after being completely healthy. You're chasing it, you're trying to get it, and it's almost like, oh, when I can get this, then I'll be at ease and peace. No, you have to be willing to be at ease and peace, even just 2% more right now where you are before health can manifest. Doesn't work any other way. Yes, you could have surgery and, surgically correct whatever, but the energy frequency will still be there and the problem will come back. I have a friend who just underwent a back surgery, didn't change any of her frequency or any of this self-betrayal and self-suppression she's been in. Guess what happened within the 2 weeks after her whole back surgery? The same disc erupted again in the exact same place, keeping her stuck. But this time she had a conversation with me. Okay, she says, I'm really after being healthy, completely healthy. What does completely healthy mean? No fear, no anxiety, be free, feel vibrant and amazing, and have financial freedom. Yeah, but if you're after it, it's because you're making it be this thing that's out there that you're not at right now. And so you're rejecting where you're at, which will keep your frequency low. It's a complete self-rejection. Good insight. All right. And she says, why is this making me cry? Stephanie, wow, this topic is perfect. My husband and I feel like we're running that rat race and it's ruining our quality of life. All right, hold on. Really connecting with what's going on internally and feeling the small and subtle shifts here and there. Yes, Nicole. All right, let's go down. Amy, I was feeling really angry for seemingly no reason. It's never no reason. But we can be disconnected from our awareness and it seems like no reason, like you're saying, and attribute it to my monthly cycle. That's never a great idea. Everything was annoying me. I was willing to feel into the anger instead of resisting it. But how do you stay in it without depleting others with that energy? You're not going to deplete anybody by being present to your emotions. Boy, I want to hear more about that. How are you depleting others? I mean, if you're suppressing anger, yeah, that could be kind of a nightmare for others because you're like, why are you doing this to me? And you're not willing to just feel what you're feeling. It's never going to deplete others when you're actually willing to look with compassion at how you're feeling and make a voice for it and let it be expressed, like, wow, I'm just so angry, or wow, there's so much fear. and have appreciation and compassion for what you're feeling. That will actually always be very awakening for others. The surest way to assist others in their own awakening. All right, hold on here. Can you address what you feel causes panic attacks? There's a lot more in this, in the MindBody Solution for Anxiety, which is a program I did a couple of years back where I worked with people live to help them. A lot of people got off their anxiety medications, off their medications for depression. And it was a really powerful 4-week process. And then, it's recorded. So we have that now available on the website at drkimd.com. So I'll just say a little bit about this here. The relationship we have with what we feel when we feel fear, when we feel kind of sometimes anything, like my neighbor's feeling the symptoms within her belly, and then all this fear sets in. When we feel things, sometimes we're resistant to feeling because we're already in so much fear, it just brings up more fear. So then we have the fear of fear, the fear of these racing thoughts, the fear of this pressure in my chest. That just propagates the panic response. And so the amygdala, the brain, has all these associations that are perceived as a threat. Like, oh, any man who's, comes in the room can trigger your threat alarm. If you've had, even subconsciously, you've had experiences where you're like, oh, I don't trust that. I don't trust men. Or even just, it's crazy, but handed down in our lineage that maybe never experienced in your life, that you've ever had a bad experience with a man, but actually in your DNA can be carried energetically where it's as if you have had that memory yourself and your body will react to that as if it's a threat. So there's lots of things, but the way you relate to what you feel in your body will change all of it. Like, it's okay to have this tension and tightness. It's okay. Yes, my heart is fluttering. Take a deep breath. I love you, I love you, I love you, and let it go. And some people worry, then when I not take care of the problem. When we come into that state of serenity, a higher frequency, we will always be more, not less, more responsive to our needs, more have clarity and awareness of what is required, more able to handle what's truly called for, not less. Okay, thank you for the question. I love this story. Generous is such a great word. I read that one. It's very hard to vibrate all the time in positive emotions. And I talked about that too. That is the worst thing you can do for yourself, especially if you've had depression. And a lot of people will stay in that pattern of depression because they're so convinced they have to be positive and they're trying so hard to be positive. And there's a lot more I've had to say on that. But being willing to be where you are, I embrace exactly what I'm feeling right now, is the most powerful way to come into a higher frequency. Okay, I feel sometimes I can only keep my autoimmune disease in low profile rather than fully healing. Any thoughts? Yes. A lot of them. In fact, one of my assistants on my team said last week, like, oh, I'm having a flare up of, she's been free from Lyme for a long time and healthy and doing very well. And she used to be like bedbound. And she said, oh, I'm having this flare up from Lyme. And I immediately called her on it, like, wait a minute, why are you giving your power to Lyme? Like, maybe this is a reverberation of something, but like, keep allowing it to clear. Don't make a story out of it. Don't give it power. Don't make it mean something. Because she was sinking right back into the powerless that was her experience with Lyme, where it's like, it's got this hold on me. I'm not okay. And she has since come into a much higher level of consciousness, a much higher frequency where she resides. When I spoke about the first of the 3 keys, unity consciousness, and she was able to see through that story. So why do you think you need to keep it in low profile? What do you actually, it's like you're giving it, it's an entity in and of itself, and you've got to suppress it. So don't do that. Honor what you're feeling. There's an experience. Feeling tired, feeling achy, feeling sick. I had the same thing. And I was in resistance to that experience. I was in fear of those symptoms. And until I resolved my relationship with what I was feeling in my body, the energy couldn't move through. So yes, that will be the non-resistance, even though I know you do want it to go away. Non-resistance to it is actually what allows it to dissolve. It's not the truth of who you are. She says, I feel with the first sign of stress or hardship, my autoimmune disease comes up again. Yeah, because you're going back into that default pattern of powerlessness and fear. All right, I'm going to give people some, actually, Jess, will you put the link to the webinar for tomorrow, because for any of us who are here to assist others, either as a practitioner or you're super empathic and you're ready to assist others in a bigger way, I'm going to share about what kind of the biggest ways we start to take on people's energy that we really don't need to do, and how to operate in unity consciousness in your practice so that you're not taking on clients or taking on people's energies. You're actually aligning within inner connection and allowing that to assist their alignment, because the only thing that actually creates true health, wealth, prosperity is when you are in your alignment. It's not the pill, it's not your work, it's not the magic solution or energy work you've come up with, although those are beautiful. It's what you allow to be transmitted through that. It's always a transmission of consciousness. And so when you align within you, that is exactly what creates that. And that's one of the big things we're doing in the Awakened Practitioner Collaborative, is assisting each individual's alignment. When you are aligned with prosperity consciousness, you can't not receive greater wealth in your life. You can't not receive greater resilience in your body and health. So mega change happens when you change to this, shift to this focus, versus trying hard to, what do I have to do to get more healthy? What do I have to do to have more wealth? What do I have to do to get ahead in my life? I was on that hamster wheel for a long time. All right. Oh, Kathy says, I can't hear you. Uh-oh, I don't really know what that is. Maybe that will help. Sorry about that. Eek. Is it better? Hopefully we got the sound better there. All right, I am going to complete just a couple more comments here. MK, how do we balance being here completely and accepting and inviting in and receiving something higher? Being here willingly and accepting is the exact thing that does invite something higher. It is the only thing that allows in something higher. Trying to grasp for that higher thing and make it and manifest it and create it actually blocks it. Being here now with even that 2% more peace, this sucks and I hate it, but I'm willing to embrace it even just 2% more. That is what increases your frequency. And that is what allows in more prosperity, increasing your frequency. So it is one and the same. They are not separate. And that is an awesome question. So you don't have to balance, oh, I'm willing to be here completely, but now let me put my energy over there into like growing and manifest something beyond this. It's always going to be a rejection, and you're always going to live in duality. Okay, so no, don't do it like that. All right, hope the sound is better. Let me see. Oh yeah, so my phone was hit against the computer, and that wasn't good. So now it's moving, but here we go. All right, so coming into, that's why all I do now is practice full acceptance, honor my heart implicitly. Okay, Dino says, how do you let go of what lets you down? What do you mean what lets you down? Like someone disappointed you? What gets you down? And it kind of, I will say it's the same thing. Like if you neutralize it and get out of resistance, it either evaporates from your life, or you all of a sudden have a magic way that you just like, you have power because it has increased your frequency. So you don't need to battle anything. Katie says, I was doing the tapping from the pain release program, and I had the insight. That's the MindBody solution for pain release, which is another awesome program that we've created. I had the insight that my symptoms were so uncomfortable that I didn't want to know, and I turned my back on my body. Not sure what to do with that. Well, how did it move through the program and through the tapping? Because keep doing the program, because there's a lot in there that allows you to go into a resolution of, you have that insight. That's all that's needed. You don't need to ruminate over it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to see it as an actual problem that you need to annihilate. Your awareness is the light that allows it to no longer have power. So wicked good insight. All the ways and you can also just say, all the ways I've turned my back on my body, you can let this go. We can let that pattern go. All the ways I didn't want to know, and so I abandoned myself. I can release this pattern now. It's okay for me to let that go. So acceptance and willingness. Okay, Lena, I have had headaches and migraines every day since 2014, and I just don't get it. It feels like I've tried everything, but there's some part of me that feels like it's confusion. It's stuck in my head. Is that even possible? Yeah, it's not only possible, that's what's going on. You said fear or confusion and stuck in my head. It's not that there's fear or confusion and this thing stuck in your head. It's that you're in an alignment that has you repressing. And so you're stuck in your head. Energy's not flowing the way it could. So, and it might be an option for you. The MindBody solution for pain release is available online. I do work with people live. Somebody asked me about that last week. How can I find someone in my area who does what you do? I work online. I see people all over the world. There are a couple options of how you can work with me live. We're going to be changing that up soon. So if you do want to take advantage of that, it would be a good time to do that. But for most people, the online programs are going to be massively, massively powerful. It's not nearly as much of an investment, and it will walk you through the exercises and some of the tools I do with people privately. Privately, I do read much, much more specifically into your body, and then we'll tailor everything exactly for you. So that may be something that you want to do. We meet on video and do the work that way, but usually I'll tune into somebody's system as soon as they register before I've even met them and get the energy moving. So super awesome. Kelly says, it's Kelly from Malaysia. It's 1:30 a.m. here. I can't fall asleep. Feeling anxious and tightness in the chest when I close my eyes. I don't know anxious for what. So there is a great resource at drkimd.com toward the bottom for sleep. And there's an Eft Sleep Meditation. There's a video I created. And there's a MindBody TV episode we did on insomnia and like why your system's like running, all revved up, and what you can do to immediately just turn that off. Sometimes, yes, we have to consciously turn off to let our body know, like, it's okay to go to sleep. It's okay to let this go. A lot of people don't, a lot of people don't know how to do that. Okay, so those are awesome resources for you. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming on and joining me live, and to everyone who's listening to the recording. I'm at drkimd.com. We are a growing community. You're welcome to join in Facebook in the MindBody community. It's a lot of where the conversation continues, and you'll have assistance from myself and my team. So that is an invitation as well to join that free community. For those of you who may want to work with me live, as I said, there is a link for that at drkimd.com/private. I'm very, very, very limited in who I am working with privately, but there are a couple of spaces available for that right now if it is resonating with you. And for practitioners, I will see you in the live webinar tomorrow, and we will expand this world into an entire different reality. I love you all so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.